Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. This is Edward James Tagg, and today, for the third time, I'm channeling Mother Mary on a topic that she chose. And I believe the topic will be the importance of family. Now, I sometimes do them in the early morning. 6th of July, my birthday is in 2 days away, by the way. Now, this goes on to YouTube, so can you hit those notifications, bell icons, whatever. Now, channeling Mother Mary is quite an ordeal. Like one of the important things is I have to wait until the entire neighborhood is quiet, and how easy you're going to get that. And people love using power tools. They love. This morning, my neighbor had a guest over, and they were talking outside on the patio, which is not a problem. But you can't channel with that kind of distraction. Even when I was walking through my kitchen, I heard this really weird noise, and I thought it was some power tools off in the distance, but actually probably some of my glassware was going ting, ting, ting and setting up a resonance, and it sounded like a very high-pitched whine every time I walked through my kitchen. So these are kind of some of the things you have to get out of the way before you can channel Mother Mary. Yeah, everything's really, really quiet now. Pretty birdies, everything's good. So, as you know, I have a technique where I talk to angels telepathically, but also in the early beginning stages, I get messages through pages and books. So lo and behold, on the 7th group of books, and 7th from the left, and page 100, page 201, it talks about having family around you, and isn't it wonderful? And then it goes on further on, and it talks about going to church. Tim went, blah, 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 sermons, congregation, and they hadn't been to church for a while, which is fine. And at the very end, they talk about after he was married, and they obviously got married at the church, or someone did. So I've kind of left it very open. I think Mother Mary does want to talk about possibly those three things: the importance of family, most of all, and how joyful it is. And that might have something to do with COVID behaviour, bringing people together, possibly. I'm just waiting to see. And then also possibly attending church, not that she's being denominational by any means whatsoever, because I'm not specific, and it's not even about even necessarily going to a church. It could just be a gathering or some congregation or some social activity that focuses on God or oneness or spirit or whatever you want to call it. And then thirdly, she could be referring about in this talk about the importance of marriage as well. So, but my feeling I got was at the top of the page, it was the importance and the joy of family. So the first talk she gave was, I have to remember now, I'm really struggling to remember what the first talk was. Oh, yeah, it's just gone from my head. And then the other one, that was about connecting to God. And this one is about the importance of family, I feel. And normally when I ask a question, I usually expect, I'll say hello to Liz and everybody who's joining in. When I ask a question, I want real specifics. I get about 3 books for each question, because I want a confirmation, and then I want an elaboration. So I don't want to get it wrong, but in this case, I want to leave it very open. Now, all this morning, Mother Mary's been on at me. Get ready, do your talk. Get ready, do your talk. It's a bit like frying an egg on the frying pan or running the bath. There's always that thing in the back of your mind, like, is the bath full yet, or is the egg burning on the frying pan? And you kind of get those spirit reminders. Well, Mother Mary's been doing that with me. Excuse me. I just ate something. Anyway, so yeah, sorry. So she's been reminding me all morning. So, I mean, I've been talking to Mother Mary for 25 years, so it's very normal for me. But doing it publicly is just a bit strange. I have to When I'm talking to you like this, I'm kind of chit-chatty and social, and my vibration is very kind of average. But when I go into Mother Mary consciousness to bring her through, because I'm actually hearing her words going through my head, I have to raise my vibration considerably. And the way I start with that is through the breath and becoming very calm. And I can do that on an average between 2, 5 or 10 seconds, or 15 seconds at the very longest, to get into her mode. I mean, I can talk to her right now if I just check and see if she's there. So she said, yes, that's correct, Edward, we are here. So that's the first thing she says. Sometimes when I bring through her voice, it can be a little bit weak, and I know it's her, but it's like, I'd like that a bit stronger, please, Mary. Can you make that stronger? And it's not that she can't be strong, it's just that my vibration hasn't gone high enough. If I'm trying to channel Mary from my average vibration, she's there, but no huge long sentences are going to flow until I really start breathing and really calming and raising my vibration and becoming very disciplined and very soft and very calm, and then it starts flowing, and then more joy comes in, and then it's just getting into that zone, and then it's really, really strong. Her voice just powers on through my brain, and her voice just flows. So anyway, okay, that's what I'll do. So I'll just ask her if she wants to talk about the importance of family, or whether or not she's talking about attending church, or whether or not she's talking about getting married in general. So when I do this is almost identical to giving a psychic clairvoyant medium reading, which I've also done on and off for 25 years, but I'm giving it to the entire planet, which sounds funny, right? Because I'm giving it to everybody. When Mother Mary talks through me, she intends that most strongly to go to every single individual on planet Earth. She looks at Earth, because there's these pictures, right, where she's standing on a snake on planet Earth with her hands out like this, looking down with her head tilted upon planet Earth, and she's available to every single person or soul on that planet. And when she talks through me, there's the same intention, the same energy. So I'll just see what happens. Okay, I have to do my little meditation mini breathing thingy, so just give me 2 seconds and I'll see if she wants to talk about the importance of family. Even if she starts in the importance of family, that can often just be just a basic opening topic, and she always shifts and changes the topic, which modifies further down the way, which I'm sure you can appreciate. Okay. Give me a few seconds. She's actually telling me right now it would make it even stronger if I burnt a candle. Yeah, well, I'll go and get a candle. Please wait for me and I'll be right there. If ever you know psychics or people who do this kind of thing, you might learn to understand that you don't say this to a client, but occasionally you'll get a client come through the door, and they could be a very negative person, and even sometimes they can actually be a reptilian. I've actually given psychic readings to those who have got reptilian souls, and I didn't know it until I learnt that much later, and it was kind of surprising. But I won't go into that because I don't want to engender any fear upon anybody. But under those circumstances, we don't tell the clients, but burning a candle is about getting rid of negative energy. Candle burning gets rid of negative energy. Not that I'm implying that anybody here is negative, but there's always residual energies around any house or room or around my thoughts or anything, so I'm burning a little candle. I'll put it just right there in the window. I think that'll be all right. Okay, excuse the delay, but every little thing helps. It really does, actually. Burning frankincense, burning candles, prayer, meditation, raising vibration through beautiful music, it's all really effective. So those rituals are there for a reason. Even rolling up my shirt. I cleaned this shirt and now it's got a mark on the... I don't even know how that mark got there, but sometimes when my shirts and even my jumper, I got a beautiful green Marks and Spencer's jumper which I use in the workshop, and I used it to de-rust some steel, and it was splattered with oil and black spots. And I actually sometimes I boil my clothes or boil my tea towels or whatever, and then I put them through the washing machine. So I boiled this one, but here we go. Okay, excuse the delays, but these are just necessary. And also, when you see someone blow out like that, that's actually blowing out negativity. Not that I'm full of negativity, but it's just what we do. Okay. Change the camera angle. So she's saying, yes, indeed, Edward, this is Mary. So she comes through immediately quite clearly. Okay, so she's going right into it. Now, it's hard for me to paraphrase because I've got to remember precise words, but she said something like, yes, indeed, Edward, we are overjoyed when families come together, and we do want to talk about the importance of family, and we can see that they're overjoyed when they come together in times like COVID-19, and we can also see, Edward, that you've been watching about Highland Park in Illinois, where there was a shooting. And there's a lot of people that are grieving right now, and it's very important that when family comes together during that time. Okay. She's saying, yes, indeed, you understand very, very clearly. We'll send you images. So they're going to send me clairvoyant images as to what's going on. Okay, they send me an image of a daughter who's kind of in her 40s or 50s, and she's with her elderly mother. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, these are precious moments when we see daughters and mothers spending time together. Yes, indeed, Edward, and in that we are overjoyed, she says. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, it's very important that families spend more time together. Now we'll get her to elaborate and ask what she's talking about. She says, yes, indeed, it's very important when families to come together. It's the joys of the heart that brings people together. Okay, please show me, thank you. Okay, she's a little bit stop-start at the moment. It might be because my chair is rubbing against the other chair at the back and I'm not very comfortable. If I'm not entirely comfortable, it can be challenging. I have to move my tripod. Sometimes if she knows I'm comfortable, she won't move. She won't carry on until I've adjusted things. I had a glass of water. Oh, okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, we know that you are concerned about the shooting in Highland Park in Illinois, and we will talk about this. Okay, just a minute. Said, yes, indeed, Edward, it is a time of great grieving. Okay. Now, here's a bit of a problem because this happens when you're channeling. Sometimes I try and preempt what Mother Mary is trying to say, and I see images, and I get ideas in my head, and then I start preempting her and start trying to put words in her head, and then that becomes a problem. So she's showing me about the families that are involved, and the language gets a bit confusing. But what she showed me energetically, it wasn't verbal. It was just the feeling was that in that part of Illinois, some emotional family karmic lessons had to happen in that process. But it's really, really difficult saying that, because if I say that, then it sounds like God planned it, and God definitely didn't plan it. God, it just gets really complicated, and that's why it's really, really hard to give a message about gun control and about grieving and about karma and families being disconnected. It's a can of worms. It's just a difficult topic. And so when I'm trying to bring through Mother Mary on that, I don't know whether or not it's me dictating it, or how much is she coming through, and then I get stuck, and then she stops, because this is how complicated it gets, and that's why it's hard. Okay. Right, okay, here we go. Let's see what she wants to talk about. Okay, so for me it's getting a little bit stuck now, and I've just got to figure out what's going on. This is one of the, as I've just outlined, some of the complexities of doing this sort of thing. Okay. Okay, now she's flowing a lot more because I've just had that pause, that break, because of my confusion. He said, yes, indeed, it's very important that you relay these messages about family. So that thing about the shooting, that was my injection, because I saw it on the news, and that interfered with what she actually wanted to talk to me about. So she doesn't want to talk to me about the shooting. She wants to talk about the importance of family. Right, okay, I understand that, okay. Okay, so now she's coming through really clearly, and she's saying it's important, Edward. It's very important to understand that sometimes with family, there is limited time, and these moments that family have together are precious. So what she's really saying, and I can understand that, is if you're in any given moment, let's say you're a daughter and you're in your 40s or 50s, and you've got an elderly mother there, and they might be getting annoyed with you, or you annoyed with them, and maybe you're not seeing it for the precious gift that it is, and you might find it an inconvenience, or you might be arguing. But Mother Mary wants you to understand that these moments are dearly precious, and sometimes that might be the very final day that you spend with your elderly mother before they have a heart attack, or anything else, or whatever life changes or people move, and people, move out of state or a country, get married and do different things, and so she's talking about the precious nature of family, and the time that you have right now is key and critical. Okay. Now, what she's showing me in this scene, which is quite common, this is just not any one particular person, but it's a common scene that Mother Mary sees, where you've got the grandmother, and then you've got the mother or the daughter of that elderly woman. And then I see in the other room, you've got a teenage son come into the room, and there's arguing going on. You've got 3 different generations. And it's very, very important to understand what she's showing me is that in that moment, it can become very, very stressful. But the way angels or our guides see that situation is such that they're really precious moments. Like that teenage son is only there for a single moment in time. And even if you're having arguments with him or finding it difficult, that's a single precious moment. And that moment will be lost. They'll be grown up, they'll go off to university, they'll move out of state or across the world, and it'll be gone. So don't take anything in family, take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. These are precious moments, even the difficult times with challenging teens and difficulties. Now, I think it kind of also relates. I don't know who the perpetrator was for the Highland Park, Illinois shooting, and I keep coming back to that when I shouldn't. But I think that was a teenage boy. And if it was or it wasn't, I'm not sure about the identity. But I don't know whether or not Mother Mary is linking the 2 subjects, and this is where it's getting complicated. When you see a teenage son that's struggling, and then you've got an elderly mother in the next room, try and have more gratitude and appreciation for it, because it's a singular moment that's precious, which stands to reason. Okay. All right. Right, just a minute. Okay, she said, yes, indeed, Edward, this is very, very important for people to understand. And now we will talk about healing, she says. So now she wants to talk about the topic of healing. She's saying it's very important for people to process their feelings around these challenging family interactions, around these topics. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, this is very important. There can be a lot of stuckness in these relationships. So what she's saying is that if you've got, hypothetically, an elderly parent in the room with you visiting, and you've got a teenage son, in these interactions, they are precious moments, but you might see them for what they are. But if you're not focusing on your emotional impact or your emotional buy-in to your son, or seeing him as a mirror of a former younger version of yourself, or challenges with your parents that are now elderly, you might be in denial about some of those emotional processes, and it's more important to have a higher level of self-awareness in these family interactions. Okay, right, hold a sec. So yes, indeed, we would recommend that people get more access to whatever kind of therapy or healing modalities or whatever they need. Those she didn't use the word modality, but if you need to see a therapist, or if you need to get hands-on healing or whatever method is necessary, she says these processing of stuck emotional traumas within families are really hugely important. Okay. Now she's bringing the husband into the scene. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, right. Now, I don't want this to sound like it's becoming sexist about roles and what men do, but anyway, she's just using this example. If a man comes home from work, it doesn't necessarily imply that if he doesn't work, bloody blow's playing that role, and they're not into that, woke politics necessarily per se. But anyway, if he comes home from work and if he's got some challenges with communication, and you don't see the deeper ramifications of what's going on in his life, or he's not able to communicate those, it adds another depth of complexity into the relationship, and you might be casting aspersions or not believing what he's saying, or judging him without knowing his circumstance. Because a lot of men, for instance, can hide a lot of very deep, powerful feelings, but they just never come out. And so we always make lots of assumptions about what men are not feeling, or feeling for that matter. Okay. Now they show me a scene which is kind of a futuristic. Not in that scene, they show me a future scene which could be weeks down the line, where all of the family members, it could be husband and wife, or it could be son, or it could be elderly mother, where they're all processing feelings and they're communicating freely, and some of them are crying and some of them are not, but it's more connected, more free and more expressive and closer, and that's the scene that she's trying to create as an idea, if you like. So let's just see what she means by all of that. Or even before my body hits back, her words are coming through my head really, really quickly. So, so she's saying, yes, indeed, Edward, this is very powerful. Okay, Shane, please. And it requires a lot of letting go. I'll see what she means by that. A lot of requirement of letting go of judgments and limited ideas about people, roles in the family. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, there are still lots of hurts within families, and that these hurts that she's shown me are kind of hidden and not understood and not well communicated, and it's a common problem with all families that she's watching and she's looking upon, that concerns them. Okay, just a minute. Oh God, a word's already coming through. I'm drinking the glass of water. So what did you just say? Show me again, please. Oh, yeah, she just said there is a golden opportunity. Okay, please show me now. There's a golden opportunity of beauty and healing. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, if you can see what we could see. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, although there is karmic stuckness, there are also golden opportunities for, or I can't remember the word she said, but almost like instant healing moments within families. So when she talks about karmic stuckness, that stuckness is in soul groups within families that just refuses to budge and refuses to move. Sometimes the pain is overwhelming, and there can be a lot of mistrust within families that you will be held, loved and supported within your family structure. But she's talking about these golden opportunities that people are missing out on, of connecting, of communicating, and they're all just getting beyond that barrier of that initial fear of being rejected or being judged or not being heard or not being loved or feeling alone lonely within your own family. But she's showing me the importance of these golden opportunities that she sees as just hanging in the balance. Sometimes when a husband or wife or whomever is just on the point of arguing, there's love that's built in that argument, but people don't trust that they'll be heard, and they miss out on these golden opportunities, and they go, oh, blow it, I'm out of here, or they someone goes away, drinks a quarter of a bottle of whiskey or whatever they have, or goes off with their friends, or prefers to talk to their girlfriend on their phone, or prefers to get into addictions and social media or whatever, and they miss these golden opportunities. Okay. So you said we just want to reiterate that the talk was not intended to talk about going to church or marriage. It was purely about the importance of healing within families. Okay. She said, yes, Edward, we've just shown you a picture of a dog, a pet dog within a family, where the dog wags its tail and it can see the energy within the family, or the love in your eyes, and it's trying to connect with you. And the dog is picking up on this beautiful golden energy that is available of unconditional love within the family. But because you're not seeing it, you're not taking it to the next step. And seeing the magic that the dog can see in your eyes when it sees that unconditional love. So the unconditional love is built inside you. The dog can see it, but you can't see how you can apply and use that within the greater enlargement of the family. Okay. She said, yes, indeed, Edward, quite often families need to de-stress. I think the reason she's saying that is because quite often this karmic stuckness she's talking about is not necessarily just stuckness. Sometimes people have their lives just get so busy, like dropping children off to flute lessons or pony rides or whatever, or being so available in a family and being always so busy. And I think it's important to understand that in past generations, lives were a lot simpler, and we've added, pony lessons and fruit lessons, and soccer practice and social media and going to the movies and picking up the kids and shopping and going out to, tacos or KFC or McDonald's. And we've made lives very, 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 very busy. And that's actually preventing a lot of these golden opportunity moments for healing and for family to come together, because we've made ourselves so incredibly busy that we're constantly in that fight or flight response of over stress all the time. And Mother Mary is showing me the importance of family taking time out, actively taking time out to really, really de-stress. Okay. Let's see what you want to talk about. Once again, it can be quite hard when I talked earlier about chopping and changing, going in social mode and going into semi-meditation mode with Mary. Just that vacillating is the hardest part of doing this. And also telepathically, I can psychically pick up on some of your thoughts of the people in the group, and I can feel their thoughts. Yeah, I can feel them. So that's also another energy of itself as well. Okay. Okay, so because I left Mother Mary for far too long because I was talking to you, I've kind of got out of her mode, and reconnecting with it is harder now. So it's almost like restoking the fire because it's gone down. So I have to see what she wants to talk about now, whether or not she's finished on that particular topic. Okay. Now they're showing me a man dressed in a check shirt on a farm, walking around feeling very, very lonely. And I think the reason she's showing me that because she wants families to understand that men in particular, I know men come under the spotlight quite a lot for, narcissist or aggressive or whatever. And I think she's showing me that men can be quite often just misunderstood, and that when they walk around the farm or outside or wherever they are, men, she's showing me, she's strongly aware that a lot of men are deeply lonely in their core, and the way that they don't or do communicate ineffectively with families cause more of this internal and family isolation and loneliness, and it's a really, really huge, huge problem. She's showing me that this happens to a lot of families, and a very high percentage of lonely men who are disconnected, who can't communicate, and feel rejection and neglected and misunderstood on a real grand scale. And I think alcohol and gambling and using bad language or pornography and all those other things and distractions and addictions just kind of get caught up in the mix, and then you add drugs and other problems and marijuana and pee and other things, and you've got a huge social problem with men in general. So, okay, let's see what she wants to talk about. Okay, so yes, indeed, Edward, we're going to talk to you about grieving. There's a lot of men and people within families in general that have lost their parents, even for many, many years, and they never fully get over it, and they're never healed from it, and that a lot of that is causing their trauma. So if you're married or if you're part of a family, and you've got a male father figure or whomever it is, and they've lost their father or their mother, a lot of this isolation is this lack of grief that men can't, that we're just not, well, I say we, a lot of men don't feel they're allowed to grieve or allowed to feel those feelings, and a large percentage of them are really, really sad and grieving the loss of their parents in general, across the board. Okay. Okay, so now they showed me another image, and they just showed me a wife having a lot of tenderness towards her husband, and really providing lots of comfort and care. Now, they also show me in that situation that sometimes when children and other family members are in the mix, women don't have enough time to add care to their husbands. But in this particular scene, they're showing me that she provides a tremendous amount of care, and sometimes men don't show that they have needs. They'll express it more through aggression or anger or violence or addictions, and I'm not okaying any of that by any means whatsoever. This is just the function of what happens with men sometimes. So I don't have a value judgment about men's behaviour in general, but they just showed me this golden opportunity moment where the woman just required to be a little bit more sensitive and don't always. I think the difficult thing about men feeling feelings is that men sort of hope that someone's going to show them care and listen to their feelings and be heard, but they'll never pipe up and say, I have a problem, I have needs, I'm lonely, I'm not coping, I'm sad. Because if men do that within families, they just get assumed that they're a wimp, that they're a woofter, or they can't cope, or they need antidepressants, or that they're a failure in the family. So men get taught to be strong for the family, but it can often go against their own best interests because they can never communicate or express vulnerability, weakness, or a failure or defeat. So men are very, very unlikely to do that. So it actually takes a woman to use her ESP and guess, even when she doesn't see the evidence, to guess that the man that she's with is just not coping internally inside, even though it's unexpressed. Okay, right. Right. By the way, when I close my eyes, Mother Mary's talking to me all the time. She's often just calming me down. She's saying, "Yes, indeed, Edward, this is Mary. Please be calm. You understand well." So I don't tell you everything that she says, and those are the reasons she uses those kind of words, because they're like stoking the fire or the petrol engine. It kind of gets the ball rolling. Every time you channel, you've actually got to build momentum, and when the momentum is built on those short, simple sentences like "Yes, indeed, Edward, this is Mary here. We love you. Please be calm. Please have faith. Everything is well. Blah blah blah." It's like building momentum, and then the sentences that follow are the message or the things that she wants to say. But I have to get the momentum out of the way first each time I go back in again. Okay. And the reason I tell you all this is in case you want to know about channeling, or if you channel yourself one day, or if you meet another channeler, you're kind of learning behaviors, because not many people talk about these internal processes, obviously. I don't think they do anyway. All right. Okay. Okay, so she's told me that she's finished for a moment. She just reiterated more of the same about she keeps using the expression golden opportunity, and for her that's very important. Just that there's a golden opportunity for healing and families to move beyond this karmic stuckness that she talks about, and for healing, and particularly for men and women to communicate, take time out, de-stress, not make your lives so busy. Women to be a little bit more attentive towards guessing what men might be thinking and feeling, because they're just not expressing it adequately, and the loss of their own parents is causing more trauma and more damage than men are able to express, but they perceive or they expect that they have to be strong for the family, and so that goes against their own best interest and causes more further damage, which causes this karmic stuckness. So I hope that helps someone. I don't know what sort of people that's going to benefit, but there you go. That's just what. Now, I've only been channeling 3 times in public, so it's for me it's quite a stop-start experience. If at 9 o'clock at night I go to the beach and I talk to Mother Mary, it's like blah, 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 blah. It's like non-stop. She could talk non-stop for 10 or 15 minutes or even 30 minutes. But when it's stop-start like this, because I've got to relay what she says, then that's I'm learning that that's something that's quite difficult. I think over the weeks or months that I continue to do this, I think she'll find a different form. I never want to trance channel where she takes over my mouth. I've done that before, where I've laid down and talked into a microphone that was on a stand just this far away from my mouth, and I didn't. It was challenging to know if that was me or Mary, and that was about 15 or 20 years ago in the beginning, when I didn't know much about these types of processes. So I was in my early days and it didn't feel right, so I stopped it. So anyway, there you go. That's Mother Mary on the importance of families. I hope that helps someone. Have a lovely day wherever you are. I'm trying to decide on what days to do this, because I want to get back to my original talks that I normally do on a Wednesday, Monday and Sunday. But I'll find a time where I do these still regularly in the week. And I put it on my group, and my group is called Mother Mary Channeling, which I'm sure some of you may know by now, possibly. By the way, it's my birthday in 2 days' time. It would be nice to get the occasional donation. I do all of this work for free, and that's PayPal, edwardtagg@yahoo.com, EDWARD, which is Edward, and my last name Tagg is TAGG, all one word, lowercase, blah blah blah, @yahoo.com PayPal. If you want to. Birthday, 2 days' time. I do have a visa bill that's been outstanding for quite a while. Don't have a lot of money at the moment. This is all that I do. And channeling Mother Mary is something very, very new and very unusual and very strange, but exciting. And Mother Mary is just very, very insistent. When I wake up in the morning on that day that I'm going to channel, she's just at me, in the bath, cooking my breakfast, tidying the house, being aware of what noises there are in the neighborhood. She's quite insistent. Quite insistent. So there you go. Have a lovely day. It's been the 4th of July. I'm sorry that in America you've had a shooting in Illinois. These things are very upsetting. They challenge us. There are karmic involvements within families where these things are the only ways that people can grow, which is really sad, obviously, but also sometimes part of God's plan. I don't know. I can't even find the right words to try and make that seem. Anyway. So, bye for now. Hope it helps. Take care. Have a lovely day. Bye.